Welcome back to the Teacher's AI Cafe. I'm Kane, a teacher and a parent who wants AI to give us back our time. I share practical classroom-tested AI strategies to cut down your workload, improve your feedback and reduce stress so you can get your evenings back and be more present with your friends and family. No jargon, just actionable steps. Grab your mug. Now let's get going. Welcome back to this week's tech update for the 20th of April 2026. Before I get stuck into it, I'd just like to mention I've got a great guest on this Wednesday, a teacher up at one of the international schools up in Hong Kong there. So definitely tune in on Wednesday to have that conversation and lots of different insights on how they're using it in their school. And the other thing I'll add is anyone else would like to join me, obviously drop me an email and we can arrange a time to interview. Wherever you're at the beginning or at the end of your journey, I definitely want to hear from you because we all learn together. So what's been happening in the last week? I guess the most interesting and most important story is Google has added notebooks to Gemini. So if you log into your Gemini account now, you'll see your notebooks are actually synced directly between the two of them. I haven't really looked at how that could be used usefully. When I logged in there, I could have conversations, but like I said, I'm only using Notebook to generate things like presentations and infographics. I don't really have those long conversations like I do on the other platform. Big change for people who do use Notebook LM a lot. It'll remove one of the long frustrations of those users of fragmenting these different AI tools, say within the Google environment. So you can now do everything with Gemini as well as using Notebook LM. So the idea is you can start collecting your sources one place, draft in another. Instead of dividing it up like that, it all can be done in the same place. So in practical terms, I guess you can gather your readings, things like lesson notes, early prompts and things you do in Gemini, move them to Notebook LM and vice versa as well. With Notebook LM, it's easy to now just shift the things across. You can do it within Google Gemini, it'll sync, and therefore you can jump on Notebook LM and create those richer analysis and those visual tools within the same notebook. So it's a small but it's important move away from one-off prompting and I guess developing more project-based type work within these platforms. I've got it already on my Plus account, which I think is the normal one, but obviously it rolled out first for the highest tiers, Ultra and Pro, and made their way down through the hierarchy. The second thing Google have done is actually brought an AI mode into Chrome itself. I guess people like using apps like Brisk and things like that within as a plugin. Now you can obviously use Gemini itself, AI within Chrome itself to actually do a lot of the additional work for you. So you think of what Atlas have done from OpenAI with their integrated AI browser, and it makes logical sense that Chrome is going to go down this road that it'll start to be integrated and be able to use these tools very seamlessly within that and modify or extract to get information out of the web pages you're actually visiting. Anthropic, big week, they've released Opus 4.7, which the company says it improves performance in coding, vision, complex multi-step tasks. I guess for most teachers like us, the impact is indirect. We're just using the model, we're just adapting with it and doing more. If anyone can tell me how I can stop running out of tokens or usage within Claude so quickly, I haven't worked out what I'm doing, but I do a project and I do a couple of prompts and then it says at the end of that model. So I'm not sure what's happening there. If you drop me a line, like I said, I still prefer ChatGPT for a lot of things. An interesting thing I'm going to have a play with is Anthropic sort of launched Claude Design. So this is lets users create things like slides, prototypes, and one pages, another visual work through, I guess, a conversation. You can export to PDF, PowerPoints, and Canva. This is really good, but obviously if you use Claude, you can use it. At the moment, I like to use Gamma to do my presentations. I create graphics manually, obviously, in Canva, though Canva has released a new AI update, or I do a Notebook LM. So if Claude can do it and do it just as well as Notebook LM, do we start to rationalize the different tools that we're actually doing? AI is the biggest change this week, is I guess it's more commercial than technical. They've started rolling out ads in Australia. So if you're in Australia and you're free or Go users, I don't know who the Go users are, paid tiers, including education, still remain ad-free, which is important. I guess this matters, obviously, we don't know students seeing ads coming through their AI, even though it's a free product. If their spaces become more commercial teachers, I guess we'll have to look at things like digital literacy getting pushed through. But like I said, if they're smart, open AI should not allow within educational domains those actually to come through. Most interesting education story this week comes from Queensland. It's also relevant to South Australia here. State move towards stronger laws about harmful deepfakes imagery, while reports say teachers at more than 30 schools have been targeted in offensive AI-generated deepfake videos. It's always happened, but obviously with deepfake it's much easier. A sharp reminder that obviously AI school policy cannot be limited to cheating and I guess the efficiency. Obviously it needs to look at things like those social aspects and things like consent and staff safety, as well as student safety itself. Outside that, a person in South Australia has just been convicted, not an education-related offence, but creating deep fakes of someone they knew and then apparently sharing them on X as being charged and sentenced as part of that. So takeaway this week, it's a pretty straightforward week. AI tools are becoming more connected. Like I said, we're starting to see these tools, and I guess like myself, I pay for 3 different platforms at the moment, which is Gemini, Claude, and ChatGPT. Play with them. And with design, I'm going to see if they can do the same thing that Notebook LM does for me. Also, I noticed the other day when I was in Adobe, it's got make a podcast thing feature there, but it didn't work. I clicked on it. I said, I can't support that language, and it was an English document. So something else to explore around that as well. So hopefully you found this update useful. It gives you a bit of these incremental changes that are actually going on that are relevant to the education area. Obviously, there's lots of changes going on when you go into that commercial or other spaces as well. Before we go, Mythos, which I mentioned last week, was the super powerful version. They haven't released it public. They have released it to select companies, people like Apple, I think Microsoft and a few others, and I imagine the NSA has a copy of it as well. So whether we ever see that made public or not, who knows? I think they're being released so they can check all the defences. About, obviously, if it's good at really protecting their systems, Mythos is, it's also very good to train to actually break into systems. So interesting to see what comes out of that over the next few weeks and months. Till then, keep up with the good work, and I'll talk to you on Wednesday.